Hey guys, wanted to show you a super low budget Altoids sharpening kit that I've kind of put together here real quick. It's less than $15 total, kind of taking advantage of great deals on eBay and flea markets and whatnot. So I've been able to kind of put this together, and you can put something very similar together very quickly, very cheaply, and they work fantastic. You can get your knives to complete and total razor edge with this in a matter of minutes, because you're employing, you know, a good set of stones over as opposed to, like using those cheap ones that just come with your knives. So as you know, we got the normal Altoids tin. Here is my Strop, which is a little piece of 1mm vegetable tanned leather. I think this entire sheet that I cut it from, which you can see is a pretty big sheet, cost me maybe $2 scrap at like a hobby store. So you can cut as many of these as you can fit in here, or you can add sandpaper, guys. If you don't want to do the whole leather thing, you could add in all kinds of automotive sandpaper, 1000, 2000 grit sandpaper, which will pretty much effectively do the same thing. You can strop with the fine grit automotive sandpaper. Here is a hard Arkansas stone that I got very cheap off eBay because it has a defect. As you can see here, it has a kind of a little bit of a pit in it. So I got this for around like $6. It's probably the most expensive part of the piece. Hard Arkansas stones are pretty high grit. They're between 1000 and 1500 grit, which makes them more of a polishing than a cutting, which is really good because it does give you that good well-honed edge. And this is probably the best part of the kit right here. And then we have two little stones in here. This one here is a Norton soft Arkansas. These are anywhere from like 600 to 800 grit. And this one here is all stained up, and I got this at a flea market for like $2, and the guy was like amazed I took it. He kind of like did not think anyone would ever buy it for $2, and he thought he would end up just throwing it away. So, like I said, they're about 600 to 800 grit. This is a very standard aluminum oxide vintage stone. I think it came in a box, so it was like a master built or something like that. Nothing, not one of the big stone makers. I got this for maybe $3 or $4. Can't remember where. My guess, based on feel, and I'm pretty sure it's aluminum oxide by the look of it, is this is probably one of those like 250 to 300 grit stones, very similar to what you get with a knife nowadays. You get those kind of coarse 250 grit. I think nowadays typically they tend to go more with the silicone carbide as opposed to the aluminum oxide. But you know what? I'm not an expert. I could, and probably am wrong. So what I got here is a very interesting little system that's very simple. Depending on how dull or sharp your knife is, this system is fantastic. If the knife is very, very dull, maybe it has nicks or whatever, I use this Coarse Stone, which takes off a lot of material in a hurry. This is a very fast cutter. I have a lot of these little pocket stones I've collected over the years. This one here I selected because it's a very fast cutter. It's a very hard stone, so it doesn't wear. Even though I've used it a lot over the years, it doesn't wear a lot, and it's a very kind of fast cutting, coarse, hard stone. Really good for forming that initial edge in a hurry, so you're not messing around. Next, of course, is soft Arkansas. As I said, 6-800. This is a little more refining the edge. It's you can hear it. It's a softer stone, but finer grit. So it's not like a fast cutting stone. It's really like on the verge of being more of a polishing. So lots of times I start with this if a knife is just a little bit dull. It's better just to start with that as opposed to taking off unnecessary steel with that. Then of course this hard Arkansas, you're talking 1000 to 1500 grit. This is more for honing, polishing that edge. It's not bad. I use it. It's kind of, I haven't had it forever, but like I said, you can pick these things up relatively cheap on eBay sometimes because they have flaws in them. And this is a natural noviculite stone that somebody probably had caught and noticed the flaws in it and just decided to sell it on eBay as opposed to wherever else it was heading to in life. And I just happened to be there and picked it up. So this one gives you that really fine, nice, polished edge. Lastly, the strop. I start on the suede side, give it, maybe 20-30 strokes, go over to the smooth side, 20-30 strokes, and then usually what I will do is finish the strop on my pants, usually like I'm wearing like a cotton poly pants, and those will actually give a fairly good final strop as well. So at that point, usually the knives are very sharp. They'll take hair off your arm, very, very sharp. This is not a one of those hokey sharpening systems where you the one-step sharpeners that really just do nothing more than dull your knife. This is something that will get your knife back to a super sharp edge. I'm surprised you don't see more Altoid kits like this. Everybody typically uses sandpaper in the Altoid kits, which is perfectly fine, nothing wrong with it. But I like stones. I'm a stone guy. I know in the early days of this channel, you saw me do a lot of stuff with sandpaper, but I've grown away from it. I really like the stones nowadays. I've just gotten better, more experience, But nowadays I like the stones. But not to say I won't put a couple pieces of sandpaper in here, maybe a 2000 or a 3000 grit, whatever I can dig up, just to help with that final polish. Or maybe even if you're convexing an edge, you could very easily take this Altoids tin, set it down on the ground, put the leather down, and then put sandpaper over it, and that would do very good for convexing an edge, actually. So you can actually cover different types of edges with this kit. So other stuff you could add to this that I haven't, of course, if you have a ceramic rod, you could definitely cut a piece of it off, probably with a hacksaw maybe, and fit it in there. If you have maybe a very small diamond rod, you can put that in there. There's a lot of little things you could add in there as well. Polishing compound, you name it. But these Altoid, kits, everybody does sandpaper, and it just it annoys me a little, I guess, because you can get these really cool small pocket stones for really cheap if you just look around. You'll find them all the time. Once you start looking for them, you're going to see them at garage sales, you're going to see them at flea markets, you're going to see them, especially eBay. People sell these on eBay, and these little pocket stones usually almost never sell for more than a couple of dollars, and the shipping on them is pretty much nothing because people just throw these things in a padded envelope, and they're good. So it's a great little system. And this one, of course, I got to do a little better fitting on it because the lid closes, but it's a really snug fit. So I'm gonna have to do something about that. I might just put a rager band around it. Who knows what we'll do? But I still got a little more work to do. But there you go, guys. Like 15 bucks worth of materials and a fantastic sharpening kit that'll get knives razor sharp. And if you want to see a demonstration, hey, shoot me a couple comments, let me know, and I'll pull this thing out on a dull knife and show you what it really does.